Welcome to the show, everybody. Joseph Robert, the fantasy football counselor, and I am fired up for fantasy football busts, fantasy football players that suck. It is the suck-isode. Yes, I'm going to go through a list of players and rip into them for sucking. Yes, the only person that does this because I'm blatantly honest, I keep it real, and I speak the truth. Guys, big episode. Gonna fire through this. I'm gonna help you guys. And if you guys are considering drafting these guys, I'm going to help you guys avoid them by making you aware that they suck. Let's get into the episode. Welcome everybody, Joseph Robert, the fantasy football counselor, and it is the suck-isode for fantasy football 2020. Players that suck. Now, the biggest person that sucks, or the people that suck, are the mainstream analysts that tell you to draft these players. Listen, if these guys have had years to wow me and I'm not wowed, I stay away. So I'm going to rapid fire. I'm going to go through some players that suck. A couple of them I'm going to explain why they suck. Now, here's something really cool. In my story mode, guys, on Instagram, link below, subscribe, follow. Well, subscribe to this YouTube channel first, leave a thumbs up, and a comment. Let's do that first. Guys, you got a to-do list for this episode, guys. You don't want to suck like these players, so you got a to-do list. Like, comments, okay, and subscribe. In the comments, what I want to hear is a player that sucked for you, that you drafted and that crapped the bed for you, because it happens to all of us, okay? I understand. So list a player below that sucks. I want tons of comments. I'm going to interact with every single comment listed below. And I've linked my Instagram, the #1 Instagram page. Go follow there, guys, at Fantasy Football Counselor on Insta. If you're listening in the car, pull over. Open up your Instagram, follow, because every day in my story mode, I'm going to be listing a player that sucks and why they suck in more detail. And this is good for you guys because you can avoid them for Fantasy Football 2020. This is the best fantasy football advice you can get. It's kind of like that cough medicine. You know that cough medicine that really, really tastes bad, and then you drink it and then you feel really good after? It's kind of like tough love. This is what it is, guys. So I got to tell you, players that suck. The mainstream won't tell you this because they're afraid to use the word suck. They think they're going to offend somebody. Guys, come on. Let's wake up here. Let's be honest. We've got bragging rights on the line. We got everything on the line. So make sure that you guys listen to this list, take it in, take some notes. Also, before I get into that, subscribe below. And of course, 16-round draft solution is available to get right now. The #1 first and only video training. Guys, get the 16-round draft solution. It will help you guys dominate your leagues. Head on over to thefantasyfootballcounselor.com. If you're listening in a car, go into programs. It's right there for you. And these are players that don't suck. These are the optimal players to draft in each round. Make sure you get it. All right, players that suck. Let's go. Let's start off with quarterback. And again, guys, if you're offended by this, maybe this isn't the channel for you. Understand this is for fantasy purposes. Obviously, these guys are good players. So that's my disclaimer. They are good players. They are in the NFL. But for fantasy purposes, they suck. So let's rip into them. First of all, Kirk Cousins, dude, you suck. You're out of the top 10 quarterbacks 2 years in a row. You suck. You, sir, suck very badly. And you had two pretty good wide receivers, okay? And a pretty good run game and a pretty good O-line. So Kirk Cousins, dude, you should be like a top 5 quarterback. You suck. The next guy here, Mitch Trubisky. You, sir, suck. And that's obvious because they drafted Nick Foles. Maybe because they don't like you and they also realize you suck. The Bears woke up and said, hey, this guy sucks. So, hey, we don't want him. Finished 25th in fantasy points last year. Mitch Trubisky, you suck. Andy Dalton, you, sir, suck. I don't know how to tell you this, but the Bengals are looking at Joe Burrow for a reason. Maybe you should look in the mirror and wake up. You suck. Sam Darnold, you suck. Marcus Mariota, you're a backup right now, but you still suck. I don't see you getting the starting job anywhere. Next guy, Case Keenum. He sucks. This is a guy years ago who had Cortland Sutton. Cortland Sutton's a stud. And you didn't throw the ball to Cortland Sutton. Talk about screwing your fantasy football teams. Talk about a fantasy football bust. Case Keenum, I don't even know how he's still in the NFL. He sucks. Now this guy, I warned you guys, the next guy here. I warned you to stay away from this guy because he sucks. And I told you this. And people, the mainstream, the consensus, the fantasy football rankings, the consensus rankings told you that this guy was a top 5 quarterback, top 4, because he had the mighty Odell and Landry. Listen, I was the only guy that said Landry's better than Odell and to stay away from Baker Mayfield. Why? Because he sucks. Listen, Baker Mayfield absolutely sucks. Finished 20th amongst quarterbacks last year, and he had some pretty good targets and a pretty decent run game to distract the defenses, to open things up for the pass game, yet he still sucks. Baker Mayfield sucks. And again, I'm not going to dive into too many more details about these players, but you can see that I back everything else up, and I tell you the reasons these guys suck, and it's blatantly obvious that these guys suck, yet the mainstreams keep telling you to draft players that suck. Why do the mainstream analysts do this? Why does everybody else except the fantasy football counselor do this? Because they suck as well. So you got to be careful. You got to be a lion and not be a sheep. Let's keep going. Kyle Allen sucks. Mason Rudolph, come on, man. He had the opportunity to start, the opportunity of a lifetime, and he sucked. Carson Wentz sucks. Yes, he does, because he cannot finish. He cannot even make the playoffs. Like when he's in the playoffs, he can't play. So he sucks. Moving on to wide receivers. Odell Beckham, the king of sucking at everything. This was a guy the mainstream told you 3 years in a row, you got to draft Odell Beckham in the first round. 3 years in a row. Even the first year, they told you that. I was telling you stay away from Odell. He's overrated. It was the catch, the famous catch that made him. Listen, that catch could have been made by Julio Jones simply by going like this. That's it. It was beyond overrated. It was a flashy catch. He is a showman, and that's all he is. He is not a good wide receiver. He sucks. Again, the mainstream will lead you astray. He's currently sitting in the top 10 amongst wide receivers. It blows my mind. When I told you Landry was ahead of him last year, and he's going to be better than him, and Landry's currently sitting 30th amongst the mainstream consensus rankings. And they're going to tell you to draft Odell again. And maybe they might get it 1 out of 4 years, but I'm still staying away from Odell Beckham Jr. Why? Because he sucks. Moving on, Curtis Samuel, come on, he sucks. Danny Amendola sucks. John Ross, who ran a really fast, probably the fastest, I think it is the fastest time for a combine, 40-yard dash. He sucks, okay? Alshon Jeffrey, he sucks. Sammy Watkins sucks. Willie Snead sucks. Mohamed Sanu sucks. Anthony Miller sucks. Philip Dorsett sucks. I can keep going. That's why you guys got to follow on my Instagram, my story, because I'm going to give you guys a suck of the day. Okay, moving on to running back, okay? Phillip Lindsey sucks. Yeah, Joe, he had a 2,000-yard rushing season. But people drafted this guy last year thinking he's going to be an RB1 for the most part. He was going relatively early. Guys, I told you he's going to be the committee, and I told you it's not going to be a good year for fantasy for him. Finished 19th in PPR. Again, not totally terrible. Not the suckiest of sucks. But hey, he still kind of sucks. Phillip Lindsey sucks. Marlin Mack. Everybody keeps talking about Marlin Mack. It's his year. Marlin Mack's the year. Marlin Mack's the guy. You know, draft Marlin Mack. Dude, he sucks, okay? Ronald Jones. This is a guy I was high on a couple years ago because I saw the upside. He came out really good out of college, drafted, I believe, in the second round. But, dude, he's been sucking. So, Ronald Jones, as of right now, you suck. Tariq Cohen, he's a pass-catching scat back that can't catch. I don't know what to tell you. Tariq Cohen sucks. Carlos Hyde, he's a free agent. He's going to come in and possibly get drafted or, acquired by a team. And he really sucks. Dude, terrible. Had the opportunity in Houston, over 245 attempts, and he had like 150 fantasy points. Dude, you suck. Get off the field. Lesean McCoy. This guy's still supposed to play for 2 more years. We don't want him because he's going to go in there, and just because he's a veteran, they may give him some reps, and he's going to hoard away that value and the fantasy points from your running backs, okay? So if he wants to end up on the Eagles and screw Miles Sanders, hell no. Dude, retire. You suck, okay? Lesean McCoy sucks. Peyton Barber. Don't get me started. He is the suckiest of all sucky running backs. This guy had the opportunity. Sean had a ton of volume. I remember, I think it was 2018, I think it was. He was like top 10 in attempts. I think he was like 6th in attempts. And he had like the least amount of fantasy points. He was like 30th amongst running backs. Talking about a guy who has the opportunity and the bulk of volume and doesn't do anything with it. He sucks. He gets the award for sucking. Him and Odell. Peyton Barber, Odell get the plaque for sucking for the worst at position for running backs, okay, for fantasy points. Guys, I can't even focus on what I'm saying because the sucking is so bad. All right, we got Royce Freeman, he sucks. Le'Veon Bell, he sucks. I told you he sucks. Dion Lewis, he's terrible. Amir Abdullah, talking about a guy that looked good in one preseason game in his rookie year, and after that, he completely sucked. Okay, Darius Geis, a guy that is beyond injury prone, came out, said, I'm not injury prone, and got injured a month later. Darius Geis sucks. And to wrap this up, a guy that people think they're going to draft, but I think he sucks, Kerryon Johnson. I'm out of breath here, man. But listen, the only person that sucks more than these guys, or the people that suck, are the mainstream consensus that tell you to draft these sucky players every single year. And you got to stray away from that. That's why, guys, subscribe, leave a comment below. I'm out of breath. I'm tired from this episode. I'm too stressed up because these guys have created anxiety for many of you guys. And you come at me and say, well, Odell sucked for me, Joe. I'm upset. Well, I told you not to draft him because he sucks. Guys, stay away from the Consheeps. Stay away from players that suck. And make sure you guys subscribe and get the 16-round draft solution link below. And head on over to thefantasyfootballcounselor.com because, again, guys, you're going to get players that are optimized, not players that suck. Leave a comment below. Appreciate you guys being here. And thank you. Hope you enjoyed the Suckasode.